I've got to ask, do you like change? Because this year's Halloween Horror Nights is shaking things up, and you know we've got to get into all of it, baby. We've got some massive updates that we're diving into head first, including some new reveals about some of your favorite IP houses that are going to get you so stoked for this year's event. Plus, we got construction, and we've got a whole lot in between. What are you waiting for? We got to get into it.
Whew, to paraphrase Hawk, oh baby, 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 baby.
Taking my lines?
Walking through the front trusses for Halloween Horror Nights. They are officially up, and I need you to take a look at this because this is
same height almost.
Huge. I am 5'3". These cobblestone structures that they've put around the trusses this year are just absolutely enormous. They're really kind of staying in that gothic tone feel, but the number one thing that I'm waiting for here with these front trusses are those Halloween Horror Night lights that pop up at the front of the trusses. I cannot wait. This year they are going to be this turquoise teal blue color, as we've mentioned in previous videos. But I gotta tell you, the most exciting thing about this season overall with HHN construction is that you visibly and actively just see the park coming to life for Halloween Horror Nights. Now let's get to that first update.
We now have more confirmation that this is going to be a crazy year.
Brand new details. We had a Hollywood Reporter article that dropped last week that brought together the top creative minds from both coasts, Orlando and Hollywood. In Orlando, we had Michael Aiello and Laura Souls talking about the IP houses, while we had John Murdy over in Hollywood talking about the Hollywood IP houses that we're sharing across each coast. And some of those details that revealed, I gotta tell you, might shift some of those hype lists around just a little bit. We're gonna have to wait to see till opening day.
Right.
But
we'll see.
Exciting details. Let's kick it off with Jason Universe.
Jason Universe. So what we know right now is that both houses are going to be different, but they have some parallels in between. So for Hollywood, we're gonna go to modern day Camp Crystal Lake. We're gonna be following some fictional content creators who are gonna be exploring and capturing the abandoned lake, Camp Crystal Lake, and it's sounds pretty creepy. It gives me like found footage.
Right, I was about to say like found footage vibes. I mean, it kind of reminds me of us when we actually go out to the Southwest to explore like abandoned or like haunted hotels
and stuff. Yeah, that sounds pretty creepy.
I think we're just gonna have to make a trip all the way to Hollywood to explore this house ourselves.
Let's book it right now.
Now, when it comes to the Orlando house, it is going to be very different with some similarities in between. Like we said, a thread woven between the two. We are gonna have some of those similar locations like Camp Crystal Lake, Jason's Kill Shack, and others.
Right.
However, we're not going to be following content creators through the Orlando house. Thank God, we are safe.
We are good to go. Now, instead, they're actually going to be focusing on the new vision of the Jason Universe. So the design by Greg Nicotero.
Yes.
We're going to basically be seeing him around, at least in the first half of the house.
Right, because for Orlando, what it seems like is that this house is going to be broken up into two different sections. And the one thing that is going to kind of like weave between these two sections is the unyielding feeling of fear and horror that they want to instill in you throughout this house.
Right, they're literally saying that they want us to feel claustrophobic. It's going to be a very claustrophobic experience, exploiting the size of Jason.
Brutal.
That's the way that they're saying. So they're saying if the first part is intense, the second part is brutal. And we're first going to start by going into an oversized Jason mask. That alone already sounds cool. Then we're gonna go in there and we're gonna be met by a gauntlet of Jasons that are featured in the first 8 films of the franchise. So we're gonna see the rotting corpse Jason, we're gonna see the sackhead Jason, we're gonna see the one that drowned when he was a kid. All of those really creep me the hell out, but I feel like the best one is the rotting corpse Jason. That one is so cool. I love the zombie look that they give. So if we see him popping out at me, I might scream like a little kid.
And it ties very much into how they have been talking about that the same teams that created Insidious last year are the ones creating the Jason house here. If you remember that ping pong red curtain room scare, it does feel like the second portion of this house. We do have now those like confirming details where it's going to be those Jasons are coming at you from all angles.
I don't know if it's the sun or if it's just talking about this house, but my palms are already sweaty.
It could be the sun.
I'm already excited. I'm super excited for this house. Come here real quick. I gotta show you something. Looky. What I see. A fog machine, baby.
Fog machines.
There are a lot of them around these crypt-like structures. I see, actually, it looks like 1 or 2 per structure, meaning that there's gonna be a lot of fog in this section of the park. Now, speaking of, I see something else that's really interesting and piques my eye right now. This kind of gives me like Sergio Navarro's guest house, don't you think? So you have the house over, the Spanish Manor, and the house itself, and then you come over here for his guest house to have a little snack. I just don't know what kind of food we're gonna get, but all I know is that if you look at the design work, they are doing so well. We had the Insidious booth here last year, and it was a pretty cool booth, but this one, I feel like the detail is so much better.
Now, this is a great food booth, but I am actually seeing some much more interesting food booths that we gotta get to.
Baby, 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 baby. This so far is my absolute favorite set of booths that we've seen so far, even though we've only seen technically one before this, but right now, incredible. Clearly, these two are from the Terrifier film franchise. You've got the front of the fun house that you see in Terrifier 2, but my favorite, even more than that, is the Clown Cafe from Terrifier 2. Look, you got the light bulbs, you've got the colors. This looks identical to the film. Everything. You even have like the wheel here in the bottom. It's so cool the way that they did this. I just want to have a staff member or somebody dressed up as Art the Clown coming out once in a while and kind of do his little
signature wave.
The signature wave that we see.
Come on by the Clown
Are we
Cafe,
getting a
your
musical?
favorite meals on wheels. The menu is disgusting and full of special deals. Nothing good is here for you, so grab yourself a tray,
Sure. Clown Cafe.
I can't remember the lyrics. Food's a little funny. Food's a little funny. Food's a little funny at the Clown Cafe. We need to talk about the next house on the list.
That's right.
Which is one of my most anticipated, and that is Fallout. Now, things that you probably already knew about Fallout is the fact that Amazon, the Prime series, worked really, really closely with Halloween Horror Nights to create this house. What you probably didn't know, and one of the newest details, is the fact that the series gave HHN full rights to
access to their assets.
To the assets.
They literally gave the HHN team full turnarounds and 3D models of the ghoul itself so that they can literally replicate a lifelike version of the ghoul. And according to what we're reading here, it seems like the mask of the ghoul is going to look identical to the show. And I've got to say, as a huge Walton Goggins fan myself, a huge ghoul fan myself, I'm so freaking excited. When I read that, I was jumping off the wall.
There's a meme that goes, "Don't flirt with him," and then the person goes, "Of course I'm not gonna flirt with him," and then they see like the person walk by
Where
and they're
are you
like,
going with this?
"Freaking hell!" Well, it's literally Walker's gonna be like, "Don't flirt with him," and I'm gonna be like, "Of course I'm not gonna flirt with him." In comes the ghoul, and I'm just gonna be like.
Okay.
No, I am so excited to actually see this like insane replica of what the ghoul is actually going to look like in these houses.
100%.
Now, there's going to be a little bit of some variations again in the Orlando house and the Hollywood house. In Orlando, we know that it's going to be very Lucy heavy focused. We're really going to be following her journey, but we're still going to see some of the other main characters like the ghoul, like Maximus.
Right.
We're going to see those rad roaches.
Yeah, the T-60s as well. But the difference between Hollywood and Orlando, the biggest one, is that in Orlando, we're actually going to be seeing more of a montage of different settings. So it's not going to be one cohesive story within one setting itself, if that makes sense, but more of like we're going to be doing time jumps in every room. And it's going to be a mix from what we're understanding. Some game settings and some series from Prime as well. So we're going to be getting a mix of both between the Easter eggs, between the time jumps and all that.
Right.
I just feel like this one's gonna be maybe better than the Hollywood version. I don't know.
I mean, Hollywood, you're gonna have to tell us how good your house is, because John Murdy did talk about how in Hollywood they really are focusing on that expansive wasteland, the cyclorama of it, and that's something that it doesn't seem like we're gonna be getting in such deep detail. So you're gonna have to tell us how that it looks, because I'm jealous. Something else that I'm also super excited for is the fact that Laura Souls confirmed in this article that Fallout has created a very special teaser for Halloween Horror Nights with a specific character that is going to be teasing the second season. This isn't something that we're seeing on TV.
Nope.
This is specifically for
Inside.
HHN. I can sit no longer because I have to show you this insane food booth for Fallout. If you are a Fallout fan, you know the vibes of the vault here, Vault 33, and this is the scale of this. Enormous. Again,
you're just tiny.
5'3". Maybe I'm tiny, but like it's just absolutely amazing. I need to see Nuka-Cola here. I need to see just like a bunch of different things, like maybe like radiation style food. Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Now this food booth is the Firefly Funhouse, and this is WWE. This is exactly the way, the textures, the colors, the door itself. This is where Bray Wyatt would come out during his segments back in the day and be like, hi, and do his whole little show with all of the characters that you see there. The colors, the clouds, everything, the logo itself, they did a really good job really bringing this to life. I feel like if you're a WWE fan, you are going to be here first before any other food booth.
We are in New York, which finally has Toxic 20s.
Toxic 20s.
Mutation Toxic 20s, which finally has props basically surrounding the entire zone. One of the biggest props here is going to be the actual crash that we know happens and takes place in this zone, which is basically what sets the town, the city into pandemonium. We see here the BuzzCon. What are they called?
The barrels.
The barrels.
Right.
I never know the name of that. I don't understand it. But
good.
the BuzzCon barrels here with the crash of the 1920s car, and Palace Arcade Check is no longer Palace Arcade Check. It is officially confirmed that the Tribute Store will be taking over the Palace Arcade as well as the Sahara Traders.
Let's talk about
WWE. How many W's do you need? But more importantly, there were so many of you in our last video that one agreed with us. WWE is going to be a huge sleeper, but also so many fans. We are so excited for you. Some of you guys have some insane connections to WWE.
Absolutely.
We cannot wait for this house. And these new details really reaffirm all the firms
everything
that this is going to be a phenomenal house. Now, Orlando and Hollywood, again, they're going to kind of get their own storylines with some interconnecting threads woven within.
So for Orlando, Michael Aiello really wants us to feel that cameraman experience similar to what the debut of the Wyatt 6 was like. So if you know anything about WWE, you know that it was during Monday Night Raw last year, actually a year ago. They came out and they literally looked like they were straight out of the Halloween Horror Nights like world.
And it was kind of like a POV as you're going through, like a cameraman's perspective. Unfortunately, we cannot put the clip in here. There's a lot of rules when it comes to YouTube and adding WWE clips in the videos. But if you have a chance to look it up because it is phenomenal. Now they want to kind of like resemble that same feeling of a POV, except we're going to be entering the Firefly Funhouse.
So if you remember that food booth back there, that exact location is where we're going into, but it's going to be abandoned.
Decrepit, and just like really eerie Firefly Funhouse.
We're gonna see a lot of influence of the Fiend himself, aka Bray Wyatt. So they're paying a lot of tribute to this character in the house. That's pretty cool. They
really are. And then as we move forward through the Firefly Funhouse, we are going to move into a section where we're going to come face to face with all of this new media that was recorded specifically for HHN. It's important. I gotta emphasize it specifically for HHN. This kind of like corrupted media by Uncle Howdy really kind of like
gives me like the sense that he's kind of like he took over WWE.
Yeah, he's like taking over the house basically at this point. And then right after that, it seems per the article that we're going to be entering the minds of the Wyatt Six. Each one of them getting what seems like their own room.
Right, kind of like portraying a different realm. So like, for example, Abby the Witch, we're going to have a Abby Witch Hut where she's going to be crawling all around us, for example.
The Abby crawl.
Right, and then we're going to see like Rambling Rabbit's Dimension, where it's kind of like this tea party-esque. Kind of gives me like Alice in Wonderland vibes, something like that.
Interesting, yes,
but
very interesting.
Every single one of them.
Mercy the Buzzard, like pecking at the humans, different rooms with different, very eerie
kind of like taking their victims, and we're going to be experiencing each one of them here. I mean, this one, again, if people think that don't know WWE are going to assume that this is like just a wrestling match. It's not. There's so much horror and lore. WWE and horror are tied together so closely.
Interchangeably so well. Now, the Hollywood house, completely different.
Different storyline. We're still going to be met by Uncle Howdy, but we're going to be met at a Wyatt compound. It's going to be somewhere like in the bayou. So it's going to be a completely different setting. They're still paying a lot of tribute to Bray Wyatt himself. So it seems like they're going to really concentrate on the older Bray Wyatt, like the original Bray Wyatt, more the bayou, backwoods style before he turned into the Fiend.
Overall, let us in, is what we're saying.
We are now entering Club Horror, baby. Look. I feel like everybody does that every time you pass by that. What I do want to say is that we now have confirmation from Universal on a little bit of an extra detail that we are now going to get to snap photos with original characters. So we've got DJs, undead DJs that we're going to be dancing with, and original characters that we get to take photos with. The question is, are they going to be roaming characters? Are they going to be up on stages like we saw for the Blumhouse or the HHN bar? We have no idea, but I'm pretty excited to take some photos, bop my head like this, and get on with the DJ, baby. What do you think?
Oh, my friend, it is raining, it is humid,
right.
It is all the things.
It's like Florida weather, you can't escape it.
But let's talk about Terrifier.
Yes, we've said this before and we'll say it again, and you've probably heard it a million times, but Terrifier is going to be the goriest house ever in HHN history, and not just that.
Most water effects.
As soon as you said that, did you see that?
It just knew.
As soon as you said water effects, the whole umbrella came down with water on. It's like warming us up for real, for what's to come. Now, for HHN, typically when they do the spray effect to get you soaked with the water, whether it's a puking effect or whatnot, they use these drip lines, and those settings are usually at 10 to 20%. Well, according to Laura Sauls, they're gonna dial that baby up all the way to 100%. So when Michael Aiello tweeted a few weeks back, or I think a month, whatever, saying to bring a poncho,
He was not kidding. That was not a buzzword. If you choose in Orlando, this is your first time hearing this, in Orlando, there will be a dual path for the house. So the folks that do not want to get soaked will not have to get soaked. You will go through the opposite side. But the ones that do want to get soaked, listen.
Can I just say,
100.
I'm still not bringing a poncho. Are you going to bring a poncho? Nope. I'm still going to get soaked. I want to come out of this house with my glasses like it's like, holy crap, that was good. Trust me.
That's literally what I feel like right now. Holy crap, this is really hot right now.
But anyway, so on top of the drip lines over our heads, she also said we're going to have water blasts coming from the sides, and it's going to be doused in red lighting to really make it seem as if blood is pouring all over us.
Listen, if you thought, I'll just like cover my... No, it's from the sides, it's from the top, it is all over. Now, if you are in Hollywood, my friend, good luck to you, because you guys are not getting a dual path. You're getting one path, and that's my question. Soaked.
Are they going to get just as soaked? Is that going to be dialed up to 100 over there as well?
I mean, Murdy has confirmed that it's going to be a soaker, so...
It's not only going to be a soaker, but we're supposed to get a litany, is what they're saying, of smells both good and bad. Good? I don't know... She just got soaked.
Literally.
I don't know if the camera caught that.
I don't know, it's too funny.
That's so
funny.
it seems like we're planning
It is
this,
the
but
spirits
it's like
of Art the Clown.
the HHN gods are talking to us.
Other than that, the settings for this house.
Yes, it seems like it's going to be, according to John Murdy, one giant setting with one narrative in it. So it's going to be basically the fun house itself the entire time, and we're going to see those kills replicated inside of each room. And inside of each room, according to Laura Souls, before we go into it, we're going to see the names of the rooms written in blood, according to Art. He's going to invite us into the rooms and show us his artwork because, I mean, he's a great artist. He's one of the best.
I mean, he is an artist.
We're not only going to see all of the iconic kills from Art himself, but they're going to give their own original twist to these kills to amplify them and kind of give us, it seems like, even more intense scares from what we see in the films.
So not only are we getting Art's greatest hits, but also these new hits that we just don't even know what's coming for us. Phew. What I want to know from you is, which path are you going to take in Orlando? Are you going to take the path that soaks you, or are you going to take the path where you're going to be like, I don't really want to deal with that.
Right.
I want to see everybody else coming out soaked from this house.
We are cutting to a brief commercial break to bring you some updates on the Cat Lady of Crooked Lane, because I've got to tell you, this is becoming my favorite scare zone based on how much effort and design work and everything that they're putting together. Look at this. It legitimately looks like a real freaking house, doesn't it? I can already see the cauldron at the end, the cat lady coming out and performing for us.
I can't wait to see this zone encapsulated in light. It's gonna look amazing. Let's talk about Huac's most anticipated and a lot of your most anticipated house. Based off of last video, a lot of you have FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's
as
right,
your
baby.
number one.
We're on the same level.
I know that you know that we know that I know that he knows. That Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be a great house,
really
especially
is.
with these new details. Now, very similar to Terrifier, it seems that the Five Nights at Freddy's house on the Hollywood coast as well as the Orlando coast are going to run very similar, parallel to each other.
Probably already heard this a million times, is that they are working directly with the Jim Henson Creature Shop to bring these animatronics to life. So those same exact ones that you see in the Blumhouse movie, we're going to see them in this house. And if you know anything about them, they are 7-8 feet tall. And John Murdy himself is literally teasing that they have worked on the most complicated animatronic that they have ever brought to HHN. Ever in history.
Right now, in both coasts, we're going to see the animatronics. Laura Sauls did also talk about how we all are also going to see puppets as well. So it's going to be a mixture of animatronics, puppets, as well as scare actors, which we'll talk about in just a second. But what I do want to note, some of those newer details, is the fact that we're going to see one-for-one replicas in this house.
Specifically, we're going to see all of them. The rooms, apparently, from the janitor's closet to the pizzeria, the tones, the textures, the red carpet.
The carpet is going to be similar.
Right, and then the security room is literally going to be replicated. It's going to be identical. So it's as if we're literally walking into the Blumhouse film.
Live the horror you love to watch.
While the technology is a huge aspect that they're focusing on, they're also going deeper into the supernatural horror aspect.
Right, and the gore as well. So a lot of the comments that we've been seeing is like, how is FNAF going to be like a Halloween Horror Nights haunted house? It's not gory, it's not scary. Listen, they heard, they are listening, and they are making sure that they are adding that element to this house in ways that we haven't seen in the movies, in the games.
Right.
So for example, in the description for the house, it talks about the ghosts and the machines. And I know myself, I was a little bit confused when I read that. I was like, what do they mean, the ghosts and the machines? They're talking about the actual children that are supposed to be the ghosts inside the machines, that their bodies, their spirits are trapped inside of these machines. So we're going to be seeing them all throughout this house.
Right.
There's going to be a whole storyline with them through there, as well as the folks that break into the pizzeria. For example, Carl, who gets mangled by Mr. Cupcake. We're going to see that here inside of the house, as well as the bear chair. What was it? It's like the chair. The chair looks like a bear.
The way that they're calling the torture chair that you see in the first scene. I really hope that when we walk by that scene, we get freaking sprayed in the face.
Cool.
That would be so cool. But they're going really above and beyond when it comes to the gore and just everything that if you thought that this was just going to be some kid's house, no. You're sorely mistaken.
I'm going to need you to either find us on Instagram, send us a message once you go through FNAF, and let us know what your actual thoughts on this house are.
Or even your ranking.
Or even your ranking, right. Because I just have a feeling that if it's like on the lower end for you,
it's going to climb.
This is going to climb on your list.
It's going to go like
for sure. It is 4:50, which means that if HHN were going on right now, you would likely be already here for Stay and Scream. It is pouring. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind because August, I am telling you, it is a rainy, rainy month as well as September. But as we make our way inside Masquerade, Dance with Death, according to Hawk, look at all of this vine work that they have added to it. It really is just amplifying that whole, what Laura Sauls talked about at Spooky Empire, the tones, the textures of the Gothic vines, the conservatory, spilling into every section of this park.
I want to point at the last stage because at first, to me, walking past it, I thought it was a piano of some sorts. But this ain't no piano. There's some, I feel like that's somebody inside of there.
I think so, because if you look at the bottom, there's a trigger down there. This is, I'm telling you, this is exactly what's gonna happen. Okay, so you're gonna have the vampire here, just like la la la, and then the masks fall, right? Mask falls. Okay, setting the scene. They're gonna step on the trigger, and then all of a sudden this thing is gonna go, ah! And they're gonna be like, ah! And basically, there you go.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
it's
Wow.
just,
Wow.
listen,
Wow.
listen.
What are you doing? You should be in Hollywood. Hollywood, and not, I guess, pun intended.
I am in Hollywood. I am in Hollywood. Whew, all right, let's get to those lightning round updates here that are going to change the game for you at HHN this season. Starting with the most important one, you've heard about it. It's been teased. Now it's officially confirmed. Stay and Scream is officially changing. For this year at least. Now, if you are new to HHN, the HHN game, it used to be that you would go into Stay and Scream, check into these designated locations, and then kind of be like held there until you could queue up for certain houses. And this was to be able to let HHN kind of like transform the park. It's now, instead of being in a holding station, what you're going to do is you're going to check in to 3 designated locations, which are
Lombard's, Villain Con, Minion Blast, and Minions Cafe. That's where you're going to get.
He has it like all up here.
Your wrist, because I had to read it like 3,000 times on the website. It takes me a long time to remember things.
So you're going to get a wristband. So you're going to check in, you're going to get that wristband. You obviously have to have a Halloween Horror Nights data ticket for that night. And once you have that wristband, you are free to do whatever you want inside of the park. You don't have to be confined to a holding station. Those house queues are going to start opening up at 4 o'clock. Select houses, we don't know which ones just yet. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see till opening day.
Probably the most popular.
Very likely the most popular, and starting at 4 p.m. you can get into those lines.
The next thing is that there is, for the first time in HHN history, we are getting introduced an original concept character from Japan. Hamikuma is becoming an international icon now. We're gonna see him in Hollywood, we're gonna see him in Orlando, we're even gonna see him in Beijing. If you're watching from Beijing, then why not? You're gonna have a good time.
Final lightning round update is more actually personal. We will be in Las Vegas for this week. Oh my gosh, we leave on Tuesday. I don't even, it's crazy. It's
insane.
Crazy.
For Universal Horror Unleashed, and we are going to bring you everything. You are going to see this entire experience through our lens, and we're not holding back, baby. We're ready to have a good
whatever
time.
We can record.
Right,
we can actually record. Thank you so much for following along today.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, we don't have a word of the week. Let us know
There you go.
how many days you've got left until you are in the fog, baby.
You go.
And who knows, we might actually see you walking around because we're going to be here like pretty much every day that we can. You know that we appreciate every single one of you that watch our videos. We love you. We will catch you next week. Mwah. Take care.
Peace.